let's take another look at New Year's resolutions. So my wife came home from the gym the other day and she said, when I got there today, I got there at like 9:15 and there were tons of parking spots available, which just a couple weeks ago, I couldn't even park on the street because there were so many people in the gym. She was like, oh, how quickly people give up on their New Year's resolutions. I agree. Like I told her, hey, you shouldn't go to the gym in January. That's such a disaster, right? Like go back to the gym in February. Every year we go through this where everybody wants to make their New Year's resolutions and change things for a couple weeks. I feel like New Year's resolutions are kind of silly. I stopped doing them years ago. Why would I wait until some magical January 1st day to make a change in my life if I can make that day on February 18th? Why is January 1st magical? It's not, and that's part of what causes a failure of New Year's resolutions. So I want to take a look again, and I'm going to specifically talk about how changing your work life can happen. So if you've already given up on your New Year's resolutions, on working less, on spending more time with your family, on growing your business, on making your business more efficient, let's make a change. Let's make a smart change to your business. So this week, I've been working with my daughters, my teenage daughters, to set goals for their cycling. They're big cycling racers, and they both have some pretty lofty goals. And I said to one of them, what are your goals this year? And she wrote down 3 goals. In permanent marker on a big permanent calendar that we have, she wrote, be the fastest. And I was like, yeah, that's not really real. Like there's always someone faster, right? Let's focus this a little bit better. Let's have a SMART goal. SMART. If you haven't looked at SMART goals, go look at SMART goals. They are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. And so she changed her goals to be, she wants to podium at mountain bike national championships. So be in the top 3. It's specific. You can measure your results. It's attainable to her. If she does the work, it's relevant. Like it's what she wants. And then it is time bound. There's a date. There's a specific date when you have to accomplish this. And then her other one is her second goal is to win a state championship. So then we took those 2 goals, which are SMART, they fit in the SMART, and we broke them down and said, like, here are the things you need to do to get there. Like, you need to sleep. You have to eat well. Obviously you have to be on your bike. You need to do your weights. So we made goals specific to each of those things too. So for you, maybe you had a goal of like to lose weight. The problem with to lose weight is it's not SMART. It's not specific. It's not measurable. It's kind of measurable, but how much weight? Like 1 pound? Well, there you accomplish your goal. Or another goal is to work less and spend more time with family. It's not very specific. It's not time bound. It's really hard to measure. Let's kind of change what that goal might have been, because I see a lot of people that are like, I want to improve and grow my business this year. Okay, cool. That's fine. But like, let's pick something specific. So if your goal is to work less and spend more time with your family, let's set a goal of like, I want to work 8 hours per week less. Let's say you're working 50 hours a week. You want to work 42 hours a week. That's something very specific. And I want to accomplish this by June 1st. So now you have all of the pieces to a SMART goal. You can measure it. You're not going to fail the first time you don't work 42 hours a week. You have some time to implement it into your life. So the next step for you is to drill down in that goal. So how are you going to cut your workload down from 48 hours or from 50 hours to 42 hours? What is the specific thing you're going to get rid of first? Either stop doing it in your business or hire someone else to do it for you. Which my suggestion to that is always find something that you are doing that you could teach someone else to do and teach them to do that thing and get it off of your plate. I have a couple things to help you get started with this. So number 1, go read OFSguide.com if you haven't read it. It's like 4 minutes long and it'll answer 9 specific questions to hiring an OFS that'll kind of push you towards, like give you the confidence to say, yes, I can bring someone into my business to help me cut these 8 hours out of my work week. The next step is to post a job at Onlinejobs.ph and just get the ball rolling. Like Posting the job will take you 8 to 10 minutes. And once you do that, the process is rolling. You start getting applicants, you start replying to those applicants, you start interviewing them through email. You find that like this isn't taking you very much time. You find someone who's really, really talented and you like it and you kind of want to vet them and ask them to do a test task for you. And all of a sudden you have someone in there and like, when can you start? Oh, I can start next Monday. Sweet. It just took you a couple hours and you have someone that is going to start working for you next Monday. And you're going to increase your workload from 50 to 55 hours a week for a couple of weeks while you bring this person on board, train them, start getting that thing off of your plate, whatever it is that you're teaching them to do. And then typically, here's the next step. The next step is you immediately want to take on something new, because right now in your business, you're drowning, and now you have 50 hours a week and you can only get these 8 things done in those 50 hours, but you know there are 12 things to do. And that's fine. At first, get something off of your plate, take on something else so you maintain your 50 hours a week. Once you've successfully done this once though and offloaded something else, it becomes really easy to do it again the second time. And that second time now is when you can start to cut your time down. So now you were getting 8 things done, now you're getting 9 things done. Maybe with that first person you hired, you can get 10 things done. You took on number 11 and number 12, and now you go to hire someone else to get rid of number 11 and number 12. Now you're back to 8. The next time you hire someone, you're down to 7 or 6. And that's typically how I see this happening. Is initially you want to take on more things, which is fine, but then you get good at this. And then you start to think, and here's the critical piece in this, in accomplishing this particular goal of like, I'm going to cut my workload down. If I take on this project, who's going to do the work? Is it me or is it someone else? Or, hey, here's this thing that I'm doing. Could someone else do this? I think they could. Even though it will take me more time to teach it than it would to just do it, there's value in getting someone else to do it, because this thing is probably going to come back. It's probably going to be done again, or something similar to it's going to be done again. And if I can get someone else to do that thing once, I can probably get them to do it again the second time way, way easier. And so that second time, I'm already saving time. And now you start to cut things back. So the next step to me, so I'm giving you a bunch of steps here, is make the choice. Like you wanted to cut your workload down so you could spend more time with your family. Now you have to make that choice, because you potentially could just endlessly add more once you get it off of your plate. And I have some friends that do that. Like they just endlessly add, and then they hire someone else to take things and they just endlessly add. You got to make a choice at some point. Like, no, today I'm going to go home and I'm going to spend some time with my kids or my wife or my parents or whatever it is for you. Or maybe it's not to spend time with family. Maybe it's to spend more time golfing. And like, you got to make that choice at some point. Like, hey, yeah, it's 10 a.m. I'm going to go golf because I've gotten these other things off of my plate and I don't need to make another $1 million this year. I have a couple friends that do that. Like they just endlessly push and push and push and push, and their families never benefit from it. And that's crappy. So I would love to hear from you about what your SMART goal is and how you're going to attain that. I would love to hear from you if your goal is related to like make $1 million, but really I want to hear if it's related to hiring an OFS, hiring someone in the Philippines. My email is john@onlinejobs.ph. Send me an email. Let me know what your goal is and what your plan is to do it and how I can help.